Okay, I'm live. All right, I should be live. All right, so basically, this is a this is supposed to be. Let me make sure I'm live. Go to my YouTube channel. I'm not showing that I'm live. Might have a problem with my software. I should be live. It might be my app. Okay, so before I get going here, I just want to get in on my. Okay, it's not showing that I'm live. Let me force stop my app. Bear with me. I'm gonna show in this Sims 4 game. This live stream is just for dealing with this issue on Sims 4. For Sims players, I don't know if this is going to help you. I hope it does. If by chance you take these steps to correct your issue and it helps, maybe you watch this video like a long time later from the date that this made, it would be very helpful if you let people know that that it's working. Like I've had people, I'll do a troubleshooting video and I'll have people watch the video a year later and the fix that I share is still working for them. So it's really helpful if you do use this to let me know. Comment below, hey, I did this and help, thanks. That way it'll let other people that may watch the video say, oh, okay, well, this is still working. Again, keep in mind, this issue may not be the same issue you're having. Okay, so what I did, I will have to say this, I haven't played Sims in like probably over a month. This is the biggest mess I've seen Sims. It was the worst I've seen. So basically all the mods are broken. Okay. And this is a newer computer, so I had to transfer all my Sims into this computer. I don't have a configured, I have a terabyte HDD. I don't have it configured, so I'm operating off my SSD. And so when I went in, the specific problem that I had was that, as I'm about ready to show you, is I'll click on a household that I want to go into, and so I go into the world, click on the household, and then it'll act like it's loading into that household, and then it would not load. And so it was very frustrating because I couldn't play. It was completely broken. And I suspected that, it probably would be mods. So I just went in, and whenever you do an update with Sims 4, you have to go in to the game options and select enable mods and the scripts, and that way you can, have your mods. But like I said, this was a mess. Like, it was not even, you couldn't even play the game, period. So I had to go to, what I did is I went to Gemini AI, and I don't recommend, the AI isn't always correct, but I just got the suggested corrective steps that it suggested, and it worked for me. So that's what I'm about to show you, is the steps that I took. So here I am, I'm going into the game for the first time after all the updates, and I'm going to go ahead and update the mods, that are disabled. Whenever they do updates, they disable the mods, so I enable everything. But when I go back in, after I enable the mods, that's when I'm like having the problem, that it just would not work. See, there I go. I enable the mods, and yeah, it just wouldn't work. So I have to go into a complete, total, full-blown troubleshooting process, and it is tedious. And if you're someone like me who has an entire dynasty of Sims, which means I have over 20 households, that's a lot of builds. And when you take your mods out, you're going to have to go back in and edit all your builds that have mods in them, which is why I don't like using builds that, like, build items that are mods. I basically use like hair and some clothing and like toys. That way it's just not that big a deal when you go in. The worst, you're going to have toys removed and bald Sims walking around, right? Although I do have some furniture that I use. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit tedious because I have to go into the Sims folder inside my computer. In Documents, click on Sims. You click on EA, you open that up, and then you click on Sims. You're going to have to take that mod folder completely out of your Sims folder. Drag it onto your desktop. Now, I didn't delete mine, but there's another step you also have to take, and that is to take the thumb cache. Now what AI said that it was titled was titled a little bit differently. Basically, there's a cache file of the, that you're going to have to literally remove. Now, AI suggests you delete it. I do not suggest delete it. See this local thumb cache right here? Right here? This is what it's talking about. So I take that out, but I don't delete it. Just in case that it causes a problem by doing that. So I save those, okay, in case I may need it later. So just in case. I'm not going to delete it. I don't recommend you delete it, okay? But I removed it from the folder. That's what I did. So if I take the mod folder out completely, I'm going to have to rebuild my mod folder 100%. Now, if you're somebody like me who uses the MC Command Center, then I recommend don't go into your households that may have more than 8 Sims in it, because you could accidentally delete your Sims. And I don't even like going in the game at all without the MC Command Center working. But, if worse comes to worse and you go in your game and it deletes your Sims because you don't have the MC Command Center in there, you can just go back to an older save file. If you have save files, I always make sure that I create a save file in case something breaks. So here I am, and I'm taking, so I tried a quicker fix. See where these red X's are? That's telling you that's a corrupted file. And so I just remove all of the ones that look to be problematic. But I will tell you this might work for you, but it didn't fix the problem for me. I'm just showing this as an option for a possible quicker fix than having to remove everything, right? So this is what I tried to do. So I removed all those with the red X, but it didn't work. It still was not working. So then I went ahead and took just take the entire mod folder out. And yeah. So hello to everybody in the chat. I appreciate all of you. And I'm going to make sure that everybody, let's see. Okay. Anyways, so for Sims 4 people, again, there's a lot of people that are complaining that these recent updates, that it just completely broke the game. Mostly when it comes to mods. So I wanted to see, well, if I take my mod folder out, can I get in the game? And I already did see, yes, it was the mods. Okay, because a lot of people are on YouTube and they're saying they're blaming, they're blaming the Simmers and the mods. And maybe some of the issues, now be fair, maybe some of the issues that people are having isn't have anything to do with mods. Like I said, there's a lot of different types of bugs. There's a lot of different types of problems. I'm just showing you what I experienced. When I went in and I removed the mod folder, I was able to go into my game. So then I left the game. So then then I know for sure it's the mods, right? So I'm going to show you this step by step on how to repair. And basically, I went in and I got some very basic mods. Here's what you need to do first. You see this button, manage? You'll have a drop box and it says repair. Do a repair, because just in case any of those broken mods messed your packs up. This is very, very important step to take. So that's the first step in your troubleshooting. Get your mod folder out, get your local thumb cache folder out, get them off and out of your EA Sims 4 folder that's in your documents or whatever. I'm using Windows, not Mac, by the way. So once I do that, then I go to, like he said, now it says click 3 dots on the game top. I didn't see the 3 dots, but you basically go in and you start the repair. And that's through the EA app. And it's going to repair anything that's corrupted in your packs that maybe these broken mods, issue may have actually corrupted some files in your game itself. So that repair is important to do. So go ahead and did the repair on basically, it scanned all my packs to make sure that nothing's corrupted. So I've done that step. Now the next thing is, do I want to re-add your mods? So I re-added the game without the mods and it was working. Okay, so that was step 3. So then to repair my mods, I want to add my mods in a little bit at a time. So if I if I add all of them back in, you know, a whole bunch at one time, and then you have problems, you're not going to know which one's causing it. So I am going through the trouble to add a few mods at a time so I can isolate any mods that may continue to cause a problem for all the other players, you know, because going through mods is extremely tedious because they're like, I probably have thousands, right? So I'm going to add them in a few at a time. The ones that are use scripts, those ones, MC Command Center and the HTML injector, okay? Because you need the HTML injector mod to use a lot of the scripted mods, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and start with some very basic scripted mods, and I will tell you ahead of time that it worked. So the ones that you're going to, and I'm going to show you, there's an issue also if you use CurseForge app. There is an issue with CurseForge app. I don't know, maybe I'm preaching to the choir, you're aware of this, but the issue with the CurseForge app is when you go into an individual mod. Now keep in mind, because I have my mod folder on my desktop and it's not in my EA folder, when I go to CurseForge app, it's going to show all my mods, but they're not present. So if I want to add a mod to my new folder that I'm going to rebuild, then I need to uninstall each mod that I want to re-add. You don't have to take this step. This is the step that I chose. I'm not telling people in this video this is the step you had to take on this particular thing. Okay, I'm not telling you that. But I would recommend that if a mod has been corrupted, it would be best just to get that mod folder out. This is just my recommendation. I'm saying you have to. So I'm going to rebuild my mods. So I'm going to go in the CurseForge app. I'm going to show you that there's an issue within, and I'm just guessing, but I believe the CurseForge app itself has a problem. I don't think it's the mod, but I could be wrong. And I'm going to show you. When I go in the CurseForge app and I delete the mod, and so that I can reinstall it and it goes into my mod folder inside my EA. So when you remove your mod folder from your EA file, when you download a mod after that, it's automatically going to create a new mod folder. Okay, so keep that in mind. So but when you go to the CurseForge app, if you're using that for your mod management, the CurseForge app it's going to have all your mods as if it's going to look like it's still in your EA file, and it's not. So you're not going to be using any of those mods in it'll have like my mods folder. So in the CurseForge app, you have a my mods folder, and it shows all your mods. But because you took your folder out with all those mods, yeah, that's not going to be any good. So it's best to just what you're going to do is you're going to add them, delete them one by one, and then after you've re-added all the mods you want, you're going to take that old folder and delete it, and it should take it out of your CurseForge app. Otherwise, you're not going to know which ones are in your new folder or your old folder. So that's why I say definitely delete the old folder. So here I am, okay, going back in. And I try a household that doesn't have mods. And with the mods, yeah, it's still going to be a problem. Okay, so I'm kind of getting ahead of myself as to the video, so I may just go ahead and skip forward. I edited this and so that I can just do this live stream and kind of, you know, it was a long video. It was a long process. I recorded the entire process. This is my underwater house that I built. And so I just kind of edited it for the purpose of doing this live stream. And okay, so I went ahead and did a save file. Let me skip through here. Okay, so here we go. All right. I'm like, okay, this is not working. And when I go back in, by the way, I went into my CurseForge app before I even tried to load up Sims, and it was a mess. I mean, and so I updated everything, but when I started to play the game, then it was as if I never even updated anything. So it's not gonna, the reason I'm saying that is it's not gonna do you good to go in through the CurseForge app and update everything before you play the game. Right? That's what I'm trying to say. Now I want you to pay attention here. When I try to see how it, let me back that up. When you click on these 3 dots here and you delete it and you reinstall it, you have to install it twice for some reason. And that's, I don't think, a mod issue, because the mods are working fine after I did all this, but it's still, so that's a CurseForge app issue. So like, but I'm saying this because when you go and you delete your mod and then you reinstall it, if you don't stay there for like several seconds to make sure that that reinstalling sticks, and you exit out of this page here, you didn't actually reinstall it. See what I'm saying? I had to click on that, and they see how it says recently updated here. So when you go in and you basically delete a mod to reinstall it, for like maybe 3 or 4 seconds, it'll say recently updated, and then poof, it uninstalls it. And that's a bug. I could be wrong, but I really believe that's a bug inside the CurseForge app. Now watch, see how it went to, you have to install it again. And so anyways, so there's that. I'm just saying, anytime you uninstall an app, a mod via this CurseForge app, make sure you wait about 10 seconds and make sure that you don't have to reinstall it a second time. And it's only a second time and it sticks. And I've seen that issue for a long time though. That's not new. And I don't know if I've mentioned that in another video, but that's just something that's been going on for a long time with CurseForge app. See that? So I had to reinstall it twice. Now this is the MC Command Center. And MC Command Center mod is very important because it has a lot of different things that you can do. And especially the very important thing about the MC Command Center, if you don't want to have your Sims deleted, if you have a household, which by default you can only have 8 Sims per household, right? So if you have Sims, like you say you have 9 or 10 Sims in a household, if you don't have the MC Command Center and you go back into that household, it might delete your Sims. So, and another thing, whenever you have to do this troubleshooting and your MC Command Center, even on an update where you have to re-enable your mods, any household with more than 8 Sims, you want to make sure you go in, click on a computer and MCC settings, and make sure that the setting is still for the amount of Sims you have in your household. You have to like basically reset the household size, because if you don't, again, you will be losing Sims. And never go into CAS editing on a household with more than 8 Sims, because the CAS can only be used in households with 8. So if you try to go in when you have more than 8 Sims, it's going to delete a Sim out of your household, and you may not even pay attention to it and catch it in time. Anyways, so there's that. So basically what I did is I went and I brought in like 3 or 4 scripted type mods. Then I added in, I don't know, maybe 15, just some basic stuff that I use on a very regular basis, and went ahead and added in those mods. Panda Sama toys for toddlers, some hairs for for my Sims, basically a few clothing items. Now I did notice a little bit of a difference on how you can find broken mods. I know a lot of people use the Better Exception mod to try to find. That's never worked for me. Like, I don't know why, it doesn't find problematic even if you do scans. But what I've noticed with Windows, if you go into the EA folder, inside the Sims mod folder itself is telling you which mod is broken, which to me is pretty valuable. I mean, to me that's helpful, right? Because I never noticed it doing that before. I've never seen where there's like a red X telling you that's a corrupted file, right? So I don't know if people are aware of that. So here she is, poor little bald Sim here, and I need to get her. That's because she had modded hair, and not that big a deal. And usually what I do is I always have, if I use modded hair, I always have one outfit that is not modded hair. So that way, if I don't feel like going in and fixing all their hairs, I just can have her change her outfit, right, to, you know, some pack or base game hair. then they've got this new quest going on. They've got a lot of cute little items. And I did notice only one time that there was a better exception on the MC Command Center. So, but it was still functioning. So I'm not really sure what that was about. But so far, going in and doing this has helped me go back in and play my Sims game that I couldn't even get into to play at all. I couldn't get in at all. So this has helped. So now I'm going to go back into my mansion. I'm going to have her visit my mansion that has more than 8 Sims, just to make sure that not only can you get in the game, but the MC Command Center is actually fully functioning. So I'm going to test the mods that I've added back in. Okay, and so make sure that I'm not going to lose any Sims because I'm going into a household with a broken mod. So this is the mansion. This was the first mansion that I built. And this is the household that has more than 8 Sims. And so I'm going to go in there and just basically, if you can go in with the MC Command Center and you still have all your Sims, then yeah, it's functioning. But there's been a lot of problems with the MC Command Center where, like, you hover over the sim and the MC Command Center option doesn't show up. So there's been that kind of bug before. I don't see that. Now, keep in mind, this is September 24th, 2025. So what's working today may not work a month or so down the road, because every time they do updates, there's new bugs, there's new issues or whatever. But I will just say, in my game, mods was the issue. And I know a lot of people are mad. They're like, Sims has broken the game. Now keep in mind though, as somebody who's invested in these sim packs and whatever, they have always told us from the beginning that we play with mods at our risk, because it's just an extra something that they allow us to do. They allow people to develop so many different game type of features and build by items. And I mean, the mods add so much to the game, right? But it really is at our own risk. So I accept that, and so if something's broken, and it just, whenever they make updates and they change things, they may change their interface, they may change whatever their algorithms or whatever coding works, and if it conflicts with mods, well, that's the risk of playing with mods. And that's one of the things that I find that I like Sims, is because they give us options, they give us customization. If we can add things that are not available via their game or packs. And to me, I feel like that makes me want to play their game more than a lot of games that don't give these options. So here you see the triangle with exclamation mark. None of that was there. I went in and updated absolutely everything in this app. But once I went in the game, it was like I had to start all over. So that's why I'm saying I wouldn't. Because they tell people, make sure you update your mods before you go in. Okay, I did do that, but it didn't do me very good. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't do what EA says and trying to fix the situation. But am I no longer? Whoops. Okay. So I'm just doing this video just showing, hopefully it will be helpful. Okay, so I'm going in one by one. I'm not going to show all of them. I cut part of this out. But just to show you how you do it, you make sure you basically delete each mod, because they're in your old folder that's no longer in your Sims your file. So if you want to add a mod back in, you have to delete it first and then reinstall it. Because remember, your old folder is no longer in your Sims file. In fact, my old folder is going to be deleted. So that way I'll know which ones is in, because if you don't delete that old mod folder, then after I add each an individual mod back in, I'm not going to know which one's in which folder. So I'm just going to get rid of that old folder full of broken mods. So by this way, I can isolate the mods if there continues to be any problem. So I'm not going to re-add all these back in. I'm going to add in a little bit at a time. And I'm going to make a list of every mod that I re-added in that is not causing any problems. So that way people can see the list. You know, I mean, people know pretty much what mods they use, like Panda Samus, this one, SYB, Dreamy. Like Panda Samus, super popular developer for like kids stuff. I went in and put some of her stuff back in, the rocking chair, the little, the little toys for toddlers. Added that back in. The Passionate Gift mod, I haven't used it yet, but I will be adding that back in. But the MC Command Center is one of the biggest used mods, and it's working. So that's good. That's a good start. And the injector file that you have to have for scripted mods, that seems to be working. I haven't seen any issues with that. And then some of the furniture that I've added, I know people use a lot, thousands and thousands, like probably millions of mods. There's so many mods, right? But I needed to go through my mod folder anyways to try to just get stuff out. Like sometimes you'll get an entire kit and it may have 20 items in it, and you may only want to use it for 2. You may only want that kit for 2 of the items, like if you get a package mod, so I'd rather just keep my mod file as light as possible and updated. So did you see that message right there? So I went ahead and deleted that. If I'm getting that message, I'm not allowing it in. For whatever reason I got that, it was giving me a warning, so I just said, maybe nothing, but I'm not taking any chances. So I just said, forget it. Right now I'm troubleshooting, so I'm, trying to go very conservatively with the mods, and any kind of warning is like, okay, no. Anywho's, so I went in and re-added the modded hairs that I use the most, that I know that are the ones that I want for, especially my triplets. My triplets have had the same hair since they were kids, and I just like their hairs, and I want to keep it the same. Anywho's, but these particular hairs here for infants, these are toddler hairstyles that were modded down for infants. And so they're not like a mesh that was created outside of EA. It's just a mesh that was repurposed for a different age group. Now this is a created hairstyle that somebody created, which I think is really pretty. So I did go ahead, if you use this hairstyle, I did add this back in, and now see, watch, it's okay. So I added that one. That's a beautiful, the Kessler Farm Kitchen. I love that mod. But I'm not adding all these in. I'm only adding in a few, because I'm going to add them. It's going to take me forever to get a lot of mods added back in. I'm going to add you back. Here we go. Sorry about that. So I will. It is extremely tedious. I have a lot of mods. Not as many, anywhere near as many mods as a lot of people use, but I will have to go in one by one. So I'll probably add 10 mods at a time. Okay. And then go back in the game and make sure everything's functioning. And like I said, once I get it done, I'll have an entire list of mods that are not having any issues. And that way people who use a lot of mods can use. Anyways, if this has in any way been helpful to you, I'm begging you, please, for all the sake of all the other simmers out there, if you do this step-by-step thing that I've showed in this video, please comment. And that way, like I said, people may see this video 9 months down the road or 3 months down the road or whatever. And if you use it and it helps you, comment, come back and comment, so that way other simmers will know, oh, well, this person is still using this fix and it's still working. But also keep in mind, this may not be the same issue that you're having. You may have a computer or specific software in your computer. You may have, like, look at this mess. All this is going to be, I'm going to delete all that from my old file is going to be deleted, right? But my game is working again. I will be going in and doing some building, and hopefully It will continue to function. If I have anything that comes up, I'm going to be doing troubleshooting. But my broken game is now fixed. I'm now able to play the game. And so I hope that anybody else that's having this problem, they do have a new pack called Adventure Awaits, and I am very interested in that because it has two 64 by 64 lots, two 50 by 50 lots, a 40 by 30, and some 30 by 20s. And I'm a person who is really big on the big lots. I will want a pack specifically for the big lots. I like big lots, and I cannot lie. Yeah, I love big lots. I like to build big projects. I want to build mansions, and I'm not going to build a mansion on anything but a 64 by 64 lot. I need the biggest lot possible. And so this newest pack has got the most value for the lots alone, right? For builders who like big lots, it's a dream. And it doesn't have any occult stuff. I'm like, finally, a pack with no occult stuff. It's just like family friendly stuff, going on vacations. And the cool thing about this particular pack, like previous vacation worlds was just strictly for vacation, which what a ripoff. So this one is, you can have residential and vacation lots in this world, and it's a pretty world too. And I'm a big lover of jellyfish, and it's got a jellyfish like lake area. It's so cool. I'm stoked about this particular pack. I was really happy about the fairy pack, but it was a lot of negative gameplay, and it was awful. They finally came out with a toggle to basically disable the elements, but I'm still a little spooked. I want to wait some time and make sure that there isn't going to be bugs with the elements and that they're truly going to work. So I'm still kind of waiting that out because I still think the fairy pack is really cool. But there's some fairy accessories, fairy wings. The fairy wing mods are even better than the fairy pack itself because they're animated and you can put them on babies. Like the fairy wing accessories and mods and wings and the fairy swing, all that's mods. And to me, that is better than even the pack itself. The world is beautiful in the fairy pack. I'm stoked about the world in the fairy pack. It's just awesome. And that lot inside the tree, it's just really pretty. But there's just some really just negative, like, I don't know, they made fairies into almost like occult stuff. I mean, I just don't like the occult stuff. I know there's a market for it, but it's just not for me. But the newest pack with the cute little imaginary friend toy, that, it's a really cool pack, and it's got big lots and a pretty decent world. So I may be getting that, but I'm waiting to see, as a person who's a Christian, and I review family friendly games. And so I'm not going to continue to basically present a game if they're continue with the bugs that was going on. There was some very, very negative stuff. Like, for example, you have total control of your Sims, and the only time they do something negative is if you give them the instruction to, right? So when one of my Sims, my male Sims, walks up to a female Sim and slaps her in the face for no reason at all, I'm like, okay, first of all, this is not okay because you're taking control of my Sim and it's doing things autonomously when the settings are not for that, and I'm not okay with this kind of gameplay, and I don't even want to see that kind of stuff. Second, this is a game that is for teens, meaning 13 and older, because it's teen rated. It's not 18 plus game. It's 13 and older. So I feel like it's extremely harmful to basically put that kind of gameplay for children. Okay, I don't care if they're 13, they're still a child. Teens are children, right? So I would say I went to the developers and I said, listen, you need to fix this. This is not okay. You don't no, this is not okay. You don't teach kids that it's funny or entertaining for a male to walk up to a female and slap her in the face. Like, that's not okay, right? And it's not, and he did it out of anger. It wasn't like, it's just not okay. Like, if people want to play their game that way, that's on them. And if parents want to let their kids be exposed to that, that's on them. But as for me in my household, I would be angry as a parent. Like, excuse me, you're not going to, like, this is supposed to, no, that's not okay. And I don't want to see that. You know, I don't want to see a dude walking up to a chick and slapping her face. First he stomps his feet because he's angry. Then he goes up there and slaps her in the face. I'm just like, okay, that's not okay. So I'm waiting to see if any of that stuff is still even going before I ever get anything else from EA. Like, I haven't even had EA in my new computer until today. And I'm just like, okay, let's see if they fixed that problem. And I know once there's bugs and stuff, they make a laundry list. There's so many bugs, and they'll make a laundry list of things that they're going to work on to correct. But I think they should start with the things that they're exposing to kids that are absolutely not appropriate. And so, you know, attorney generals are all over games and platforms right now on exposing kids to stuff that's just not appropriate. And, you know, when we have TV shows in America that are rated based on appropriate behaviors for kids, and then you have movies, you can't even get in a movie theater for a rated R movie unless you're a certain age, okay? But for somehow or whatever reason, the internet seems to take like games. It's just like they expose a lot of kids to things that violate these standards that have been a part of our society and are still a part of our society. And I don't know why, but it's just recently the attorney generals of many states have been going after platforms and even games that are pushing stuff onto kids that shouldn't be pushed onto kids, and deceptive practices and addictive behaviors and this different stuff. But anyways, so I'm like, okay, I went to the developers. I said, you need to fix this. This is not okay. And that wasn't the only thing. There was adult sims that were appearing that were NPCs, meaning townies, meaning you don't have control of those sims. And they were showing up. And this was on a live stream. There was a player who was live streaming, okay, and this townie sim shows up naked, and there's kids around. Kid sims around. I'm like, okay, that's not appropriate, and you need to fix that bug. So I would have them start with those bugs before they do anything. Okay, so did I miss the game fix part? Yeah, well, just go, I don't know if you can or not, just go back to the beginning. I'm getting ready to end this live stream, and then you can just watch it from the beginning. But yeah, pretty much it's over. I did show everything, and I will tell you this, it worked. It worked. So I was so thankful, because it was just a hot mess. So I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream and just watch the live stream from the beginning, and I show it, literally show you step by step what the issue was. I couldn't even get in the game to play it at all, and it was completely broken. And the fix works. I'm so happy, because now I can go play. So I'm going to get off this live stream. Y'all that want to watch this and fix your game if it's broken, I pray that you get it fixed. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to go play some Sims. Because I can now play, because my game is fixed. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Please let me know if you do use this fix. Comment and let someone know that it worked. If it doesn't work, please state what your issue is, and then I can do a little bit of research and see what may have fixed or not fixed or whatever. So I'm going to go into my different worlds. I'm going to do some different things, test a bunch of different mods, and then I'm going to be adding more of my mods back in, and I will be isolating mods that are corrupted, that just aren't working right now, so the developers of that mod can know, and I'll let y'all know the extensive exclusive list of all the mods that are working after this. But a bunch of mods are back in and are working just fine. So that's it for this one. Thank y'all for stopping in. Please, again, let me know if you do this fix and it works. Go back to the beginning of the video and see the fix. In the meantime, I'll see you later tonight, because I'm going to be streaming, because I'm going to be building on Sims. See you later. Bye.